So I've been wanting to go over Uncanny X-Men 142 for a while now. We went over a reprint of 141 a while back, so I'll make sure to put a card somewhere on this review so you guys can click it and check it at your convenience. But I wanted to wait until, just like with 141, I wanted to wait until I got a reprint because there's just no way in hell that I'm going to open my originals, especially when you have them signed by Chris Claremont. Just saying. So I had to wait and finally found a reprint of 142. Now, the print date on this was February 1981. This issue, everybody dies. The major significance of this book, other than Days of Future Past, is this is the first issue in the Claremont's X-Men run where the Uncanny X-Men, came into play. Like, if you go back... Now, here's what's funny, though. This is the first time it's officially used, but if you do go back and look at the original 141, it does say the Uncanny. But if you look past... Oh, wow, even look at that. But still, I don't understand. Like, okay, even 129 here says Uncanny. But from what I understand, they were just called the X-Men. But, say Louie, this is where it officially switched titles. Like, even if you go to, like, other comic places, it'll say X-Men Volume 1, and it stops at 140... X-Men Volume 1, and it goes to 141, and then Volume 2 jumps into the 90s Jim Lee, Chris Claremont issue. Yeah, I know, comics, right? But just if you guys don't know, this is the official first-time use of Uncanny X-Men. If you all have never read this, essentially, the North America become... Well, you know what? Instead of me trying to explain it, it gives you a nice little read-up right here. So before we get into that, let's talk about who made it. Wherever the hell they put the titles. They're usually up here. Chris Claremont, writer, co-plotter. John Byrne, pencils. Terry Austin, inks. Glynis Wein, colors. Tom Orzanowski doing the lettering. Louise Jones, which we know as Louise Simonson, editor. And Jim Shooter, editor-in-chief. Big-time names. This is a tale of two worlds and the child woman who sought to save them. Mind at a Time. 1980, The Uncanny X-Men, Wolverine, Colossus, Storm, Angel, Sprite, and Nightcrawler face off against the newly reconstituted Brotherhood of Evil Mutants in a hearing room of the United States Senate. 2013. Comics, am I right? They always say mind the sliding time scale. Thankfully, this future did not happen. But anyway, the remnants of that self-same team of mutant superheroes fight for their lives against the nigh irresistible might of the Sentinels. In an last-ditch attempt to save their world from imminent nuclear Armageddon. And linking these two worlds, these two desperate battles, is Catherine Pryde. In her hands lies the fate of mutant kind of humanity, of the earth itself. Failure is unthinkable, yet success may well be impossible, for she seeks to change history. So I love that they don't use... Like, this is the adult Catherine Pryde. She's unconscious because her mind is in her past self. So again, kind of like with the Wolverine and Kitty Pryde series that we went over, I love that they kind of put her here in the center. So we see this adolescent girl being the key to a better future by saving the past. And it's just a great way of using visual storytelling without it always having to be the narration that explains it. And you guys are always going to be in it for a treat with John Byrne's art and the art team itself. I mean, look at that, the way they go against the Brotherhood here. All that pre-digital coloring, all hand done. Absolutely gorgeous. And then after we've gone over the first introductions of Blob, seeing him now, we can just see how much of a threat he is with the Brotherhood. And even Pyro. So, Colossus, you've put the power to transform yourself into some form of metal. I wonder, can that metal melt? I do not know. I do not intend to find out. This Englishman has created a hand of fire. It's grabbing me, and Peter starts to feel the heat. And of course, Mystique being the threat. I don't want to go too much into the dialogue because I want you guys to read this. This is absolutely amazing. But I do love this moment between Destiny and Mystique. Now, speaking of real quick, just let's put a little caveat here. What do you guys think? I know at the time of this recording, Hasbro just did their teaser previews, and they have that 2-pack of Destiny and Rogue coming out. Are you guys going to get that? Because I still have that old school Walgreens exclusive Mystique. my hesitation, I guess you could say, is they've released so many rogues. And now, granted, this is the version where she was evil and she was part of the Brotherhood, and she actually has that creepy eyeballs that she did in Uncanny Avengers. What issue was it? 10? Yeah, 10. And she kind of has those sharp nails. I don't know. It's expensive, but I want it because I want Destiny. The Rogue, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Anyway, going back into it. Oh, going on to that caveat, I forgot what I was going to read here. Destiny's asking if their mission is for sure, and she goes, I'm not sure. Beyond a certain point, the images become jumbled, difficult to read. There is a random factor present, Mystique, an anomaly that strikes to the very heart of the time stream. So long as it exists, nothing is certain. I've tried to pinpoint it without success. And then Kitty says, something's gone terribly wrong. My presence here hasn't changed a blessed thing. Have I endured and gambled so much only to fail? And so we kind of go back to some of the moments from issue 1 where we see the dystopian future and what led Kitty to being transported back into the past, her consciousness, by Rachel Summers. Yeah, it's just absolutely great work. And I love that they keep the old ads in here. That's epic. And then we jump into the future. Now, the whole plot here is that they want to infiltrate the Sentinel's home building, which is the Baxter building. And, you want the X-Men to win. Wolverine, good luck, Roar. My friend, I stopped believing in luck the day I saw my parents slain before my eyes while I survived. And that was way back in the early Claremont days. But we can see a much older, more determined Storm just ripping through these Sentinels. And we kind of start to see the powder keg burst into play as the fight in the present just roars. And we see Colossus even having trouble taking out Avalanche, Spyro, wow, Pyro, the Blob. Ugh, gorgeous artwork. And I mean, look at this. The way they do Pyro's flames to show just the level of his mutant power is intense. Now, they finally get into the Baxter building, but I don't want to give away what happens. I'm sure a lot of people have read this. It's an older book, but nonetheless, this is something that if you've never read it, you need to read it in its entirety to really understand why it's such a major point in a lot of the media that is the X-Men now, like the cartoons, the movies, why this still stands the test of time. Now, I love the ending. I don't want to give away what particularly happens. Of course, it's X-Men, so the day is saved. In that split second, an abyss opens within Kate Pride. Reality twists inside out, and suddenly she comes face to face with herself as a child. So innocent, so vulnerable, so young. Impulsively, she gives herself a kiss. And this is how you do narration. Not, OMG, Kitty's got a real headache. It's so cute, kissy, kissy. They don't do that anymore. They never did that. The new cutesiness just really, for me, kills it. But yeah, there's a lot of lasting consequences because they still play off the Days of Future Past a lot. And from what I understand, when I kind of read the wiki on this, is you come to find out that even though Kitty stopped this future from happening here, there is another plot point that happens later down the road that still lets that universe exist. So yeah, guys, this is one of those pivotal comics that really stands the test of time and has inspired many, many X-Men stories and all sorts of media. If you can, grab both of these in their original format. If not, they are reprints, as you see now. This is going to go into my kid's collection since I have the originals, and he can look at them when he's an older. But yeah, until then, yeah, they probably never will come out again since I had Claremont sign them. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop. And if you have the ducats, grab the OGs. If not, get the reprints. And if you've enjoyed this review, really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you could possibly know. And if you mind hitting that fancy little mutant bell next subscribe, that way as I can tip little content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and I love talking with y'all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below or the socials, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, hope y'all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, everyone.